Before I tell this story, I need to warn you, it is about the night I heard footsteps inside my apartment when I knew I was alone. I woke up suddenly around 2:40 a.m. No nightmare. No loud sound. Just that strange feeling people get sometimes, like someone is nearby. Watching. I stayed still in my bed, listening. At first everything was quiet. The refrigerator humming in the kitchen. The faint ticking of the wall clock. Normal sounds. Safe sounds. Then I heard it. A step. Soft but clear. From the hallway outside my bedroom. My heart skipped. No. Impossible. I live alone. No one else has keys to my apartment. I told myself it was the building settling. Old floors creak. That happens. But then I heard another step. Slow. Careful. Like someone trying not to make noise. My breathing became shallow. I stared at the bedroom door. It was slightly open. Just enough to see a thin strip of darkness from the hallway. I listened again. Silence. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe I imagined it. That happens when you wake up suddenly. But then another step echoed through the hallway. Closer this time. Someone was walking inside my apartment. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I stayed completely still in my bed, listening to the hallway. My heart was pounding so loudly I was afraid whoever was outside might hear it. I told myself it had to be something normal. Maybe a neighbor upstairs. Sound travels strangely in apartment buildings. That happens. But the footsteps sounded too close. Too clear. Another slow step echoed through the hallway floor. Then another. Step, pause, step. Whoever was walking was moving carefully, almost quietly. My stomach twisted. No. That couldn't be possible. The apartment door was locked. I always lock it before sleeping. I slowly reached for my phone on the nightstand, trying not to make any noise. The screen lit up the dark room faintly. 2:43 a.m. I held my breath and listened again. The footsteps had stopped. Silence filled the hallway. Maybe they left. Maybe it really was just the building making noise. I tried to calm my breathing. In, out, slow. But then I heard something worse. The sound of the hallway floor creaking directly outside my bedroom door. Whoever was in the apartment had walked all the way to my room. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I stared at the bedroom door, barely breathing. The floor outside had creaked right in front of it. Whoever, or whatever, was in the hallway had stopped there. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my chest. I told myself to stay calm. There had to be a logical explanation. Maybe the door wasn't fully locked earlier. Maybe someone had entered by mistake. That happens sometimes. But the apartment was silent now. Too silent. I gripped my phone tightly, ready to call someone if I had to. Seconds passed. Then something happened that made my stomach drop. The bedroom door moved slightly. Just a tiny shift. A slow creak. The small gap between the door and the frame widened a little. My breath caught in my throat. I hadn't touched the door. I hadn't moved at all. Yet it had opened. Just a little. I stared at the dark space in the doorway. Nothing visible. Just darkness from the hallway. I told myself it could be air pressure. Doors move sometimes. That happens. But then I heard breathing. Very faint. Coming from the hallway. Someone was standing outside my bedroom door. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I stayed frozen in the bed, staring at the door. The gap had opened a little wider now. Darkness filled the doorway. I couldn't see anyone, but I could still hear it. Breathing. Slow. Quiet. Someone was standing in the hallway, just outside my room. My heart felt like it was about to explode. I told myself to stay calm. Maybe it was a neighbor who entered the wrong apartment. Maybe someone needed help. That happens sometimes. But something about the silence felt wrong. Whoever was there wasn't speaking. Wasn't knocking. Just standing there. Listening. Watching. I slowly lifted my phone, the screen lighting my face faintly. I thought about calling the police, but I was afraid the sound would give away that I was awake. The breathing outside the door stopped suddenly. Complete silence returned. My stomach twisted with fear. Then the door creaked again. Slowly. Carefully. The gap widened enough for something to move through it. I stared at the floor near the doorway. Then I saw it. A shadow sliding across the floor of my room. Someone had stepped inside. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. The shadow moved slowly across the bedroom floor. My heart was hammering in my chest. I stayed frozen, barely breathing. The shadow stopped near the edge of my bed. I couldn't see anyone clearly, but I could feel a presence. Heavy. Watching. I told myself to stay calm. Maybe it was a trick of the light. Shadows move in strange ways at night. That happens. But this felt different. Real. Alive. The shadow shifted slightly closer to me. Step, pause, step. My stomach twisted. No. Impossible. I gripped my phone tighter, ready to call for help. The breathing started again. Slow. Close. Right beside me now. I didn't dare move. I didn't dare look. Every instinct screamed to run. I wanted to scream. My throat felt tight. I could barely exhale. Then, very softly, I heard a whisper. I see you. My blood ran cold. My hands trembled. I didn't move. I couldn't. The presence was right there. Watching. Patient. I told myself to stay still. Logic. Control. That happens sometimes. I stayed like that, paralyzed, listening to the faint movement in the room. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I lay frozen in bed, eyes wide, barely daring to breathe. The shadow at the edge of my bed didn't move, yet I could feel it. Heavy. Patient. Watching. My heart pounded so loud I was certain it could hear me. I told myself to stay calm. Maybe it was my imagination. Night anxiety. That happens. But the air felt colder now. Denser. The presence was real. I slowly reached for the lamp on my nightstand. My hands trembled. Click. Light filled part of the room. The shadow didn't vanish. It didn't move either. Just stayed there, dark, silent, waiting. I forced myself to breathe. In, out. In, out. Control. Logic. But I knew it didn't care about logic. It existed in a space my mind couldn't fully understand. Seconds stretched into minutes. Then a soft, almost imperceptible sound reached my ears. A whisper. My own voice. Calm. Patient. You shouldn't have looked. My body froze completely. The room remained lit, yet the darkness at the corner seemed alive. I realized I had seen something that night that shouldn't exist. Something that watches, waits, and remembers. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you.